Hello! Welcome to All A+ Essays, the best among the best. My name is Julie and I will be your instructor as we read through Principles and Practices of Assessment essay. The article source is embedded in the video description below. Feel free to read along. Please note that you can get a custom, plagiarism-free essay for as little as $10 a page at All A+ Essays. The link is in the description. The aim of this assignment is to show my understanding of the types and methods of assessment used within lifelong learning, the legal requirements of record keeping. Understand types and methods of assessment used in lifelong learning. There are various types of assessment used within lifelong learning. Initial assessment. This assessment can be done through the initial learner's interview and allows the learner to put on the most best suited level for them, and also highlights any support that may be needed. Formative assessment. This is continual assessment of the learner. These can be formal and informal assessments. It can be used in setting up a personalized learning plan. This can be achieved by asking questions or simply observing your learner. Summative assessment. This is usually the assessment that takes place at the culmination of the course, often in the form of an exam, but it can also be at any given point within the course to measure the amount of learning that has taken place. Diagnostic assessment. This is where an assessment is made of the learner's skills and also their weaknesses and their strengths. These assessments can be made through simple reading and writing. In lifelong learning, we also use different methods to assess our learners. In my subject area of animal care, I may use some of the following. Diaries. We have a section dealing with work experience and our learners have to diarize their experience whilst there. Assignments. A lot of our subject matter is theory, as it may be impractical to visit the places needed, so it's done by research and writing down their findings and their evaluations. Observation. Some of our criteria specifies that our learners have to be able to handle certain species, therefore the only way to assess this is by practical assessment. Gapped handouts. Used on the level 1 courses mainly, leads the learner to the answer by research. Each method of assessment has both its positives and also its negatives with regard to meeting the learner's needs, and these must be taken into account when using them within the classroom environment. Below I have tried to show both sides of using some of these techniques. Method strengths, limitations. Understand ways to involve learners in the assessment process. You can get learners involved in the assessment process quite easily, using peer and self-assessment. You can work with your learners individually, by between you and the learner setting learning goal, making sure that both parties know what is expected of them with regard to the level they should be working at, discussing together assessment information, giving good personal feedback so that between you can see what needs improving. Within peer assessment, you can involve the whole group. It shows different views and allows others to challenge their ways of thinking and maybe even change the way they may think. On the flip side, it can easily get out of hand, allowing the more confident members to take over, leaving the quieter one to sit back, therefore not allowing a proper assessment to take place. Understand requirements for keeping records of assessment in lifelong learning. It is a legal requirement for all lifelong learning establishments to keep accurate records of their assessments. It forms part of your role as a tutor. These records are also kept so that you are able to track the progress of any learner at any time. It also allows the learner at the end of the course show any future employers their achievement with their end-grade certificate. It allows us, a teacher, by looking at the attendance register, to pinpoint any patterns in non-attendance and also low attendance. And as tutor, you should keep all your reviews and tutorial goals so you can see if a student is struggling within their course. It also allows us as teachers to keep a track of who has completed what with regard to outstanding work and referrals. You should make sure that all your records are legible, and keep them confidential unless you have permission otherwise. In conclusion, I think this assignment shows just how many different types and methods of assessment there are at your disposal within your teaching role. It would be difficult to talk about them all within this assignment, and I have only been able to touch briefly on a few, although I would have liked to cover more. It shows how important a paper trail is for all involved in lifelong learning. Thank you for taking your time to listen to me. I hope you enjoyed learning about principles and practices of assessment essay as much as I did. Kindly remember that you can get a custom, plagiarism-free essay at All A+ Essays for as little as $10. The link is in the description. See you next time.